Well, hello, guys. The sun is out, but the weather is absolutely beautiful. Quite chilly, I must say. We're here at Veltafrede. They have gifted the world with one of the most amazing Chardonnay wines ever. And so we're going to go into their underground cellar. We'll go through the process. And of course, I hear there's an amazing story behind each bottle. So stay with us as we bring you the details, all the information about Veltafrede. As you can see behind me, this is their vineyard. They're growing some amazing stuff with which they're producing that fine Chardonnay you and I have been enjoying out there. So come aboard. Let's get some more information. It's time to learn.
For Chardonnays, there's some good Chardonnays in Australia, there's some good Chardonnays in California, and then coming down to where you are today. So over here we see the Cape Fold Mountains, and then we move on to the Robertson Valley. So we're trying to bring you closer and closer and closer to this soil type that you are on today at Veltafrede. And you can read some of the text if you're a speed reader. There's quite a lot of information on the walls. I can send that to you afterwards as well. But just try to read the heading or the first paragraph, just as a narrative of where the tour is going, because from there we're going into our wine philosophy and then into our wine history. And the name of this wine is Calcrete, which means geological deposit of limestone. And it's a product that we believe should be the staple in the Robertson Valley. It's a minerally tight style of unwooded Chardonnay, almost sea spray, oyster shell minerality, that is a very refreshing style of Chardonnay. Just an example, it's a rock that came from the limestone factory, so it's excavated out of the mountain. But over time, this Calcrete geological deposit of limestone settles down in the valley and forms the foundation of our soil, giving us that mineral, crisp, almost salty kind of freshness that we need in our unwooded Chardonnay to be able to call it Calcrete. Calcrete was the best expression of that, but as you move on and we get to a wooded style called Place of Rocks, it's also that golden thread of minerality will still come through. This one, obviously white wine matured in oak barrel. As we go along and you look on your left hand side, you will see older vintages, not necessarily only Chardonnay, but older vintages of white wine that was also matured in barrel. And then we get to the last part, and the last part is called, it's the poet's prayer part, and it says, without brokenness there is no greatness. That's our theme for the last one. We start with the world of history, and as we move through you'll see the artifacts, and we're going to jump through the ages. But it started in Armenia and the old Persia, where wine was, the first signs of winemaking was discovered. Old clay pots that was buried underground, and wine fermentation took place. time of Philip's grandfather. It was the Great Depression. Times were so tough that that one vintage had to open the taps to let the previous vintage run out into the river, so that they have space for the next vintage, because there wasn't any place to sell it.
So we're down here in an underground belonging to Walter Frede. This is where their Chardonnay, what the brandy called Concrete, is actually aged. And I mean, we have had the opportunity to get to know the history behind it, and it's simply exhilarated.
And you realize that it goes beyond just wine in a bottle. You know, there's a whole industry, from the farms outside to how it's all been put together, and the kind of adventure, you know, that is used to present the wine to you. When you look around, look at the limestone, I mean, where it's come from, the limestone, and how they've been able to incorporate history, you know, into modernity and to promote the wine. So you're not just coming in to taste wine, you're coming in to look at how agriculture is being done here, and also to look at trade. And for me, I just love the marketing style of how the whole thing is being put together, and then the tourism aspect of it.
Basically on the estate and used for these tours. And the title of this last part, without brokenness there is no greatness. We saw the history, we saw the family history, we saw the wine history, but Philip really wanted us to think of our own history, each and every one of us. And the wine is called the Poet's Prayer, so people ask, why is it called the Poet's Prayer? So Philip decided to write a prayer, and I'll read that to you, so that we can enjoy this moment together. Maybe you have also been prompted to scribble a few words on paper before. Raw words from deep within. Show you the range. We've got the Philip Jonker Entheos Brut, the Rosetta Rosé, which is also a Brut, the Ring, which is a vintage 2013, Cup Classic, so going for the vintage bubbly, and then a Nectar, recently released. That's also a 2014 vintage Nectar. So we love Cup Classic. There's another Cup Classic tour that you can do as well. But I wanted to show you the practical experience. So anybody that walks into the tasting room can come in. They can ask to make their own Cup Classic. We take them through the process of degorging, dosaging, corking, labeling. Place the bottle at the bottom. Yeah, and then you can pull down. There we go. This wine has been lying now for 3-4 years. Second fermentation. You've just got rid of the sediment, and now you can just push down on the top part, and it will squeeze in 10 milliliters of on top, 10 milliliters of magic potion that's gonna just make your Cup Classic extra special. Take one of the wire roots, put that on top.
What an experience. Absolutely informative. So much to learn, so many takeaways from this. And that Chardonnay, mwah, they should give you an inkling or a desire to want to come here to South Africa and visit Velta Freddy. We're signing off here from the restaurant here at Velta Freddy, but we are not signing off for the day yet because we have other stops to make to give you more and more exciting reasons why you should be a patriot of wines of South Africa. Follow us and let's get you some more.
They work here day to day, every day. They're all hands-on involved. Philip is managing director. His brother Neil is a viticulturist. And then their two cousins, Henny and Basil, or Salad Master, and also the other viticulturists. So all hands-on involved every day. And they understand the wine business and the wine industry. And we've 1937 when this farm was bought by their great-grandfathers. Interesting, the first 10 years of Four Cousins, we didn't spend £1 on marketing. Everything was taste. So giving a bottle out, handing out bottles, doing tastings. And my philosophy on this is, back then, the wine, and still today, the wine consumer is actually a very small market. If you really want to sell wine, you've got this beer category, which is massive. I mean, in Africa, beer is everything. I mean, everyone drinks beer. So we decided to make a wine for the beer drinker. So when we did tastings, we didn't go to the wine section, we went to the beer section. And immediately you get a beer consumer who never liked wine, and now he's got something sweeter, lighter in alcohol. It's fantastic to drink. And immediately he buys a bottle, gives it to his wife. You already get the female sector part of it, and horizons open.
When first red wine was bottled, but here we have a nice Chardonnay on the table, and Chardonnay in our area of Robertson does very well. There we go, Zandvoort Chardonnay vintage 2022 that we've got. Chardonnay, a wine varietal that you can, a white wine varietal that you can oak and mature it in oak barrels. This one for 6 months. So let's give it a try and taste it quickly on the nose. If you think lime fruit on the nose, soft citrus. Yes, that's the flavors that's currently jumping towards me. And then Chardonnay is also known to as it's a dry wine, but a soft acidity, very nice and soft palate. So let's taste this wine. It's got a very nice round palate, and then definitely food-wise, we are going to enjoy a couple of pizzas, and but for me personally, nice fish.
Just by your choice. Also nice cheese platter also work with the wines. This wine's alcohol percentage is 13%. Okay, so it's not an easy drinking, but it's a very aromatic but well balanced wine.
Sometimes people would say less ripe or more riper. In actual fact, it's to do with where the sugar levels are. So for, let's say, the Sauvignon Blanc, we're very cautious in not to pick it too ripe, because then you also sit with less acidity in the wine and the wine becomes very flabby.
Wine actually tastes better when you get to know the story behind the production. And of course, when it is told by one of the producers. Why am I saying all this? I'm currently standing at Van Lofren, producers of one of the most popular but premium wines sold on the Ghanaian market, Four Cousins. Today, we had the rare opportunity of meeting one of the cousins, the third actually. His name is Philip, and he has really spent some quality time with us. This is one for the books, this is one for the shelves, this is one that I'm taking all the way back to Ghana. We're still touring the winelands of South Africa, bringing you all the wonderful sights and pictures, but of course, hearing these wonderful stories makes the appreciation of wine and the wine industry a very personal one. Stay with us here even as we continue to tour the winelands of South Africa. We're signing off from Van Lofren, but there's another stop before we wrap up the day. It's been good, it's been fun, and I hope you're enjoying as much as we're doing on the strip.
Purchase your tracks today.
Our tour of the Cape Winelands here in South Africa continues. Now, not too far from Van Lofren is De Wetshof. And so we're going into the estate to get really how they go about the production of their own absolutely extremely fantastic wide range of wines. Join us. Let's take a step into the Wetshof's estate and get an experience or hands-on experience, a feeling of the amazing wines that you're producing here in South Africa.
Well, welcome to the Wetshof, the wine estate that's known as the House of Chardonnay in South Africa. And the reason for that is the soil. So we've got, heavy clay soils with high limestone content. One of the highest free limestone contents in South Africa. So if you think of places like in France, like Burgundy, what is Burgundy built on? Limestone content. So we've got, this is the Chardonnay capital of South Africa, and it's also the bubbly capital. Talk about like for example, we talked about how big is the farm, 600 hectares.
Yeah.
But can we imagine what it looks like? Okay, it's very difficult. Now here, the capacity in here, I normally take guesses. It's just over 1.1 million liters. Okay. So the smallest tank here is 42,000 and the biggest one is 65,000.
Another great session, and after tasting 7 different bottles of Chardonnay, eyelids are heavy. I know my people want to retire and go to bed, but the night is not over for us. We continue with our tour of the winelands here in South Africa. We're wrapping it up from De Wetshof, and then we'll go out for a night of bliss later tonight.